Everyone, good morning. My name is Anayo Waboa Victor. I am an alumni of Max-Migold Limited. Okay, I attended the program last year, about early February or so, first of last year or so, and then I can really tell you, my name is Anayo Waboa Victor. I was working in a former company which the MD know about. So from there, even before I left that company, I started the training. Okay, so in the course of the training, I was giving some professional advices to the company in the area of facility management for the residential facility I manage, in the area of facility audits, the FCA, I conduct an FCA for them, and also in the area of maintenance planning and record. So I helped them build a system whereby we could systematically manage a system without running into downtime. And as a result of that, my salary was raised. And shortly afterwards, I got an offer in a big firm where I am right now. Yes, where I am right now. And then I noticed that the knowledge I learned from Max-Migold is what I'm using in blazing trials, solving problems, resolving issues in no time. And to my surprise, when I was negotiating my salary in this new company, it was twice what I was paid before. Yes, you heard me, twice. And seriously, it's been amazing. And I'm using this opportunity to tell you that if you want to grow yourself in FM, if you want to understand more, if you want to know more, Max-Migold Limited is the best place. Trust me. You never regret ever going there, ever paying the amount. How much did I pay? How much am I earning now? So I would advise you, Max-Migold is the best when it comes to FM practices and understanding. Thank you.
My name is Tosin Ogunlade. I'm an architect by profession. I practiced architecture for many years, but I needed to stay back home to take care of my kids for a while. And after that, I needed to bounce back into career. And I thought of picking up what I could do to boost myself. And then I picked up the FM diploma program. I did that, and it helped me to achieve a career leap in the sense that I was able to secure a job as a facility manager to manage an aspect of the Oshodi bus terminal. And it has helped me. The program helped me to learn the essence of proactivity. It helps me to be proactive, to be able to work with my team members. Now, this is a program that is open to anybody from any field. If once you do this program, this facility management diploma program, you'll be taught, you'll be well trained, well taught how to be able to function as a facility manager. This is a program I advise anybody to come into. I will advise you to pick up this program, and you will learn from it. You'll be well groomed, you will learn a lot, and when you come into managing a facility, you will flow easily. It will just be easy. So you learn how to be prepared in case of emergencies. You learn how to do your maintenance plans. You learn about health, about safety and security. You learn how to do your facility condition assessments, also to make your assets register. So please register for this program and you will not regret it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hajia Zainab Saleh, and I'm the Managing Director of Brains and Hammers Facility Management Limited and White Oak Management Services Limited. Both are facilities management companies. Not too long ago, I decided to enroll my staff in a masterclass program organized by Max-Migold Limited. For some of us that are not aware, Max-Migold Limited is a physical facilities management, training, inspection, technology advisory firm. Now, I've known them for quite some time, and I chose, not too long ago, to put my staff through a training program under Max-Migold. And I can assure you that it was worth it. Why do I say that? What value has it brought to me? Or what value has it brought to my staff and to the organization generally? I can assure you there was a change. Why do I say that? Their mindset has begun to change. The way they look at attending to activities and tasks that have been given to them have changed. I even hear it in their conversations. And when you hear my staff discussing about tasks or projects that have been given to them to execute, you hear them saying, oh no, I remember in class they told me not to do this. Let's do it this way, and let's see how it's going to affect the work at the end of the day. The long and short of all what I'm trying to say to you is that if you have an opportunity to send your staff or yourself to Max-Migold, please do it, because it is worth it. And I can assure you that you will see positive changes in your staff, and which will eventually impact in your organization. Do go ahead, work with Max-Migold. You will definitely get what it is you're looking for. Have a lovely day. Take care.
Classes. I don't know what it is. The next thing is my master's admission. And after June, I was scheduled for many interviews. And then the place I'm presently working, I got to know that it's sourcing for the best people of the job for community of the years. Well promoted. It took me, and I discovered that Max-Migold would actually give a training for the company like 3 or 4 months before that time. So they were actually interested in me, seeing that I'm a product of Max-Migold. But within a few months, they were able to see the skills and strategies. So I was deployed out of managing just the head office, but to oversee some other properties that were outsourced to other FM, where I do performance evaluation for restaurants, and with that,
I got jumped into facility management. I once worked somewhere. I was recruited as a market officer, but when I got there, the facility manager left, and they just threw the role on me. But because I had people management skills, it was a little easy for me. I was pushing through it, they were giving me direction, I was pushing through it. When I left, people were calling, we noticed we left this place, everything has changed. So I thought, facility management, this is a good one, I should be able to talk. So I saw Mr. Paul advert, I think it was on LinkedIn. And I said, okay, facility manager, it can't be that bad, let me just go. When I came for the course, I discovered that I didn't really know much. I didn't know anything at all. I was just skimming through all this work. I learned a lot actually. I was barely scratching the surface before, but that course, it was really intense. It was good. It was deep. I learned so many things. As the exam, I think I passed it the first time, but Mr. Paul, when we were talking, that score is, he said it's okay, but I think we can do better. He was writing this exam. I said I'm not writing this exam. Because that first one, it was hard. So my actor, he said, do this in the game, like you've done it the first time you go, but it's 230 something, you can write it. I was already I said, let me do it again. I did this at that time around, so I said, okay, what is this? But now, I don't work for any company particular. I get people that call me and tell me to do proposals for facility management. I get people that call me and tell me that they need a facility manager, they need somebody that they can trust, they need somebody that can work for it. So, yeah, it's all good. I think I've grown. Everybody that pushed us to be the best.
The very first day in class was, my God, wow, the knowledge, everything in the class was just wow. That's what I can say. And today, I've been to different interviews, I've done very well, I've represented very well, and I've worked in 1 or 2 organizations. Currently, where I worked, I just joined them this December, and they just made me the head of facilities. Number one was that when I came, there wasn't system at all. Nothing like PPM. They always break down of, service and all of that. So first thing I came, I took the stock, I do a PPM, I create an asset register. They were like, what's going on? So I created the system, all to the knowledge I gained through this institution.
Hello, my name is Michael Omole Ogulengbe. I'm with the FMMC batch 14, and this graduation is more like a dream come true because during the course itself, there were a lot of things that I learned to reorientate myself when it comes to facilities management, rendering quality service to customer, being able to carry out proper presentation to the C-suite on what needs to be done strategically in a facility. So this course I recommend to everyone. It's a very, very good one. Thank you.
My name is Nina Olo, and I'm here for the Max-Migold Facility Management Giving Back series. It's actually a wonderful experience, and the program is actually very enlightening, and it's an eye-opener for me because as a facility management professional, I never expected a lot of things that I've seen in the training. You know, with respect to the training, I got to learn a lot of things, and it's so broad. Facility management is a process, it's a lifelong thing that you can't even it's not something you learn in a day. It's a continuous process. That's what I've come to know. And then with this series, with this program, it's actually something that will bridge the gap between the knowledge gap in facility management in Nigeria, actually. So I give it up to Mr. Paul Erubami for his good work and giving back to the society. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Isabon Gabriel Adiapanti, PMP certified and an HSC officer. I came to learn more about facility management, and I've been able to understand in Giving Back series 4 more about facility management, their strategic, and in the goal of every office or every business, we have it to make profits and to get every other thing done. It has been nice.
My name is Olayinka Adeyemi. I heard about the facility management Giving Back series at Max-Migold, and coming here not to do with the experience I've gotten. I'm from home, I'm a 90% and I've been in IT industry for the past 8 years thereabout. Started as a programmer, from there moved on to a management role as the HR. And I'm looking at what more can I do. Getting that opportunity, coming here, I felt my facility management have to do with managing, building, material equipment. But getting here, I was meant to understand that we have hard service and the soft service. And without this training, I'll still be working in that shadow of the past, that anything facility has to do with the building.
So I'm going to start on my right, take away from the last class. So let's do that. Let me do a quick refresher again, because I did them at different times in the class. You have the components of a building. The components of the building has one, systems, 2, structure, 3, fabric, 4, furniture and fittings, and what? System, structure, fabric, furniture furniture and fittings. Okay, yes. Yes, we'll bring down the systems. But there's something that I did not add. That's what we use to describe the surrounding, the sites. You can call that site or environment. Please update that, yeah? So this is what I would call your facility, yeah? Okay? Because your facility is a location where you have a building or multiple buildings that is used for a particular purpose, right? And these are the typical components that make up your facility, okay? So when we take systems, we're not breaking down again, right? Yes. So we talked about power generation, right? We talked about electrical. Power generation includes generators, solar, anything that has to do with power generation, to the point where the power is being fed into the building, right? Electrical is all the wiring network, the cabling, trunking, conduits, DBs, panels, and all of those, right? And then what else do we have? We have the plumbing. We have fire. Now the fire, we also call these safety systems, because a series of systems make up that safety system. And then we have the security system. This is where you have your access control, CCTV, and all of that, right? And then what have we missed now? We have the transportation. Very good. This is where elevators, escalators, moving walks come in. And then you have the education, air conditioning. Fantastic, good. Air conditioning system. Okay. Right.
As FMs, when we get into a space, the first thing that is required for us is what? You get to an organization as FM. Okay, what do you do? What do you do? How do you align your strategies? Yeah, very good. You need to understand the objective, the core business, what they do, what they are interested in, and do what? Thank you very much. You are aligning all these things that you know about energy, about generator, about cleaning. You must ensure you align it with the objectives of the organization. And this is the key place that a lot of facilities managers, they get it wrong. This is my objective as an organization, as a CEO. This is where I see this organization in the next 5-10 years. How can you be of value to me? How can you be of support to me to ensure that you support me, give me the needed support and requirements that will take me seamlessly in a cost-efficient manner to my 2030 goal. That is where we stand as facilities manager. Alright, if I'm going as a CEO of an organization, if I'm going in this direction and my facility manager is pulling a rope to my tiny rope to my neck and is pulling me in the other direction and is unable to convince me that, oh, this is a better path, this is value addition, let us look in this direction. He's unable to convince me. He's just telling me I should come here. That means not in alignment with my goal. Alright? Then we may have to part ways. This is a core thing in practical facilities management. The core area and the foundational failure for most facilities managers.
energy management, I was able to reduce diesel consumption to 30% reduction. So Max-Migold, the FMC training has really impacted me in person, and I sincerely want to thank all the facilitators, Mr. OC, Miss Roslyn, and everyone that's anchored, people that are not, the trainers that are not here. I sincerely appreciate everyone, and I want to sincerely assure Max-Migold and Mr. Paul Erubami that I will continue to be a good ambassador of Max-Migold. I will continue to drive the vision to the expected end that he has projected. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone.
Do space utilization calculations, you probably see so many of those spaces that are just languishing, idling, because they've been locked up for one person who is in the field most of the time. If you think about the individual's well-being and the spaces where they work, can you figure out economic ways to, adjustments to improve economy, for example, adjustments to improve well-being, adjustments to improve oxygen flow and level of concentration to be more productive? Can you make adjustments to create additional different types of swing spaces with different features that can create both visual and mental relaxation by just moving from one point to another, having breakout rooms, having telephone booths to reduce conversation, noise, and so on and so forth, having printer room that, does not share the noise or distribute that noise across the entire. There's so much you can do as an FM to evolve space planning, at least as a basic, ensure that your spaces meet the minimum statutory or regulatory requirement.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
But also know how to manage the expectations of the customers. There are many people who have jumped into FM and they come with that standpoint of, I know my rights. And then they begin to, I know my job. I'm the expert of you're not the expert of your job in facility management. So you're supposed to be the expert in the expectations of the customer. When you understand that very clearly and you can interpret it and translate it into the operating procedures you are implementing, then you can now say you know your job. And that's why if you are a good facility manager for Mr. A, you cannot apply the same procedures you apply for Mr. A with a certain Mr. B inside B, because you are supposed to learn the customer and then adapt that learning into the procedures you deploy. All the way to how you communicate. Not everybody will take communication the same way. So you lead your team, you lead your customers, you manage their expectations.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Anayo Onwaboavi.
When? Hello, Miracle. Good afternoon. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Engineer Akinola.
Good afternoon. I just want to confirm we can actually hear me. Hear me? Can you unmute your speaker and let me know if you can hear me?
You say what, sir?
Unmute your speaker if you know you can hear me, and let me confirm you can hear me clearly.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. So today lunch hour, what we're actually going to be discussing is of facility condition index, that is FCI, and what we actually use FCI for. And these are the area we shall be dealing with today. So after completing this course, every participant should be able to define what facility condition index means and explain its significance in facility management. Break down the facility condition index formula and understand how to interpret the values you get from your calculation. Then how do you explore how your FCI supports strategic maintenance and capital planning decision. Then highlight the key data and assessment required to generate an accurate FCI. Then demonstrate the integration of FCI into facility asset management system. I will be mentioning the word FCI, FCI. So if I said FCI, what I'm actually referring to is facility condition index. Please let's have that at the back of our mind. So the first thing we're doing is introduction, FCI formula and threshold, the fire maintenance, the silent threat, repair versus replacement, capital planning and portfolio strategy, then limitations, variations, and best practices, then conclusion. So at the concluding end, I want to ensure that we have some few minutes for question and answer. So if you have any question in the course of the RT of this program, please pen your question down. And at the end of the class, we have like almost 10 minutes question and answers for each other. So, like I said, facility condition index, which is FCI, measure ratio of a deferred maintenance to a current cost. What did I try to mean about this? In your facility, there are several numbers of systems you have. You have your roofing system, you have your transportation system, you have communication system, and some other system like that. For instance, let's take a roof system for an instance. You have a roof of an entire facility or a block of flat that you needed to like make a replacement. Possibly the roof got damaged as a result of wind or as a result of the fact that the building had been let for a period of time. By the time you do the total cost of doing a maintenance or carrying out a maintenance as far as that roof is concerned, and you discover that the cost of that maintenance is almost equivalent to an outright replacement of the entire roof. These are areas where FCI guides you in making some vital economic decisions, in making some decisions that help the that are in tune with the overall company vision and mission. So FCI measure the ratio of the fire maintenance to current maintenance. What is the cost of getting that maintenance cost done? Then what is actually going to cost you if you are going to do an outright replacement? Or for instance, you have a generator that you need to carry out an overhauling on that generator. What is the cost of the overhauling? What is the outright cost of buying or procuring a new generator? These are all what your FCI does for you. It quantifies the physical condition of a building or an asset. What is the current condition of that particular asset? And I know if an asset is something that a company owns, or something that a company can generate value from. So now it quantifies the physical condition of the what of the building. What is the current condition of the building? Can the building, if we carry out a repair, you carry out a capital maintenance on that building, will it still sustain? And what is actually the cost, the amount we are going to expend in getting that done? Then it helps facility manager to prioritize repair, replacement, and reinvestment. Then when you do your facility condition assessment, with your condition assessment, able to break down the entire facility into component wise. And when you break it down into components, each of those components you are able to assign cost. And when you assign cost to it, what is now the overall cost you are going to expend in getting that repair done? Then when you have the total cost of what is going to cost to get the actual repair done, then you can easily prioritize. Do I need to focus my attention on getting the tiling work done? Or do I have to get the ceiling work done? Or the first thing I needed to do is how to get power into the building. So you need how to prioritize. And when you prioritize, one of the advantage you have when you prioritize is that you know exactly how to deploy your manpower. You know how to deploy your resources that are available at your disposal. Then, with your cost, you are able to juxtapose. Either you have to do an outright replacement or you can go ahead with your repair. Then, reinvestment. Because at times it could be a capital expense. It could be a capital expense that is going to go up a huge amount of money. Does it worth it reinvesting into it? If you reinvest the money, how do you get your ROI, which is return on investment? How long will it take you to get your investment cost back? Because you are actually spending money and you want to make this money back. So these are areas where your FCI FUT supports transparent building and capital planning decision. Because when you do your condition assessment and you are actually have all your information, all your data, either either in terms of graphical, in terms of pictorial, you have everything at your disposal. For you to now sit down and defend this in front of the management becomes easier because you are actually making your decision based on justifiable data. Also establish data-driven comparison across facility and asset type. You have an asset in Lagos, you have a facility in Ghana. Then with your facility condition index, you can easily compare. Oh, this is the amount we spend when we carry out this type of exercise in Ghana. So why would we have this so cost higher in Nigeria? Then you can easily determine, okay, possibly it's as a result of foreign exchange, it's as a result of environment, it's as a result of inter-country pricing and all those things. So you know the reason why there is a spike or there is a difference, or there is a higher rate doing things possibly in Abuja compared to Nigeria, compared to Lagos State. So it also enable you data-driven comparison across facility. So how does your FCI fit into asset lifecycle and risk-based facility management? When you're talking, let's first of all understand what we call asset lifecycle. An asset lifecycle is the total life cycle of the asset from the procurement or to when the asset is actually meant for disposal. When you procure an asset, it starts its life cycle. Installation, after installation, the asset begins its operation. During operation times, what you talk about is operation and maintenance. And when you talk about maintenance, you're talking about what are those things that you need to put in place to ensure the utmost performance of that particular asset, that asset is actually delivering its designed purpose. When you talk about either you have to use a preventive maintenance, you have to use a condition-based maintenance, you have to use a predictive maintenance, or you have to use operation-based maintenance. this, or you have to use reliability center kind of maintenance, or you want to go into full automation. Then after, irrespective of this maintenance activity that you put or programs that you put in place, the asset will still become old. Then when the asset becomes old, what do you want to do? Are you doing what we refer to as retrofitting? Are you doing what we call a revamp? Or you want to dispose of the asset? So these are the complete cycle that we refer to as a life cycle of an asset. And FCI informs decisions across the entire asset life cycle, because when you use your FCI in terms of maintenance of the, you know if the asset is still actually maintainable, or the assets need to go for an outright replacement, or the asset need to be what disposed of. Then help assess when to maintain, when to repair, when to replace, or when to decommission an asset. So at every stages of your asset life cycle, your FCI helps you to make a vital decision in terms of do I need to maintain? Do I go for repair? Do I go for outright replacement, or I do a complete decommissioning of the asset? Then it also align asset condition with risk tolerance and operational priority. Risk tolerance in the sense that when you discover that this asset cannot withstand the required efficiency that is required for your daily operation, then definitely, you are putting your operation at risk. And putting your operation at risk, if you are a customer-based operation kind of a person, that shows that you are not able to deliver in terms of your deliverable. Not doing that will reduce your customer count. Reduction in your customer count will impact on your revenue inflow. Your revenue inflow being impacted tells you your profitability will dwindle. And once your profitability dwindle, you cannot have what we call return on investment to your investors. And these are the reason why you take FCI as a pivotal, as a pivot, as a decision-making center for an effective facility management. It supports long-term planning and life cycle cost optimization. How do you get this done? You have done your calculation and you see that you can go, you have already, after your calculation, you discover that, or you concluded that, I need to do an outright revamp. So when you do your cost, you actually want to do revamp, but the financial capacity or capability is not at your disposal at that time. Do you want to plan this period of 3 years? Do you want to plan this for a period of 5 years? Do you want to plan this for a period of 10 years? That, okay, this year, this is what we're going to focus on. We want to do energy reconfiguration of the whole entire facility. We've been having fluorescent lights in the entire facility. Now we want to change everything to LED. Not even only LED. We want to use the entire building roof to install solar panels so that we can connect the whole lighting of the entire facility into solar grid. So communication. So you can do a long-term planning. If it is something based on revamp, then integrate with risk-based facility management by identifying assets that pose highest operational or safety risk. Let's take a 10-story building for an instance. After you have conducted your condition in the condition assessment and with your condition index value, and you discover that in the index of 0.0 to 1, your index is tending towards like 0.7. This is uh this is what I can call catastrophic. Is something that is telling you that the building can collapse at any time. And you can imagine having occupants in that kind of building and the building eventually go to that extent. You know you have legal issue to battle, you have your name at stake, you have your company being banned from operating as a facility management company, and all this are what the risk that you want to try as much as possible to mitigate at, that you don't even want to take a joke at. And that's why your FCI will definitely help you and support you in all those areas. So you know assets that are actually posing a risk. You know assets that are actually posing a risk. And what do you need to do about it? Do you go for outright replacement, or what you needed to do is a revamp? So how do you calculate your facility condition index? Your facility condition index is the ratio of deferred maintenance over current replacement value. Let me take a generator, for instance. You have a 200 kV generator in your facility, and you need to carry out a maintenance activities on the generator, for instance, an overhauling. And when you possibly you have allowed 2 or 3 of your contractors or vendors who are specialized in generator maintenance to send you quotation. You have your quotations, and when you do the sum up of the average of what each of them gives you, is running to almost about the cost of procuring a brand new generator. The best decision you can take at that point in time is for you to do an outright replacement. So now, how do you do your calculation? You have gotten the cost of the overhauling from your contractors. Then you have already asked from most generator suppliers, what are the current costs of a 200 kVA generator? What is your maintenance cost? That would be at the numerator. Then what is the replacement value? That will be at the denominator. Then you now do the calculation, then you get your condition index out. You can have it in index of 0 to 1 or 10 to 100, whichever one. So FCI is calculating by dividing the total deferred maintenance by the asset current replacement value, expressed as a decimal percentage to indicate facility condition. The lower your FCI is, the more reliable your facility. And the higher your FCI is, the more unreliable that facility is. Lower FCI value suggests facility asset condition. Higher value indicates deterioration. Industrial benchmark help to categorize FCI, like when you have it less than 0.05, this is telling you your asset is in good condition. When you have it greater than 0.1, this tells you that your asset is in poor or almost nearing deterioration. Enable data-driven on repair, renewal, or replacement. Like I said, you can have it in the index of 1 or in the index of 10 to 100. An FCI value ranges from 0 to 1. If you are going to have it in the index of 0 to 1, or if you are going to have it in the range of 10 to 100, is also possible. An FCI lesser than 0.5 generally indicates a facility in a very good condition with minimal deferred maintenance. When you completed a new project, if you completed a new building, it is expected that you spend zero cost in terms of maintenance. So definitely you will have your FCI to be nearly zero. So for instance, in the span of maybe like a year or 2 years, your maintenance cost on that facility should follow a downtrend on a graph of vertical and horizontal. Why your efficiency and availability in terms of that facility should focus on a upward trend. When at the initial stage of the facility, If your maintenance cost is observing, is heading towards the upward trend instead of following the downward trend, this is most of the time what we refer to as infant mortality, which could be as a result of poor material, poor supervision, then giving out the job to unskilled contractor. And if this happens, your FCI index is possible to observe a increase, a greater than 1 index at the initial stage of that facility. Then value between 0.5 and 0.1 suggests fair condition, needing attention, but still manageable. So what this is suggesting to you is that the facility is not in a perfect, excellent condition, but a maintenance activity or some repair being carried out on that facility can still bring that facility back to give you a higher efficiency. An FCI greater than 10 tells you that your facility is in poor condition. And deferred maintenance may not be able to save that facility. Even if at all you opt for deferred maintenance, it could be too costly, it could be too risky. And higher FCI score can impact on safety, on stability, asset value, and budget planning. Because if your FCI is driving towards the 1.0 index, and you only think the only budget you made for that calendar year is just the normal maintenance budget in terms of your HVA, HVAC, in terms of your communication, in terms of your normal maintenance activity. And along the line, you suffer a huge loss in terms of one part of the wall falling off. And remodeling the one part of the wall doesn't mean the entire facility will have what we call strength integrity. So this might impact on your initial budget, and it can even consume your whole budget that you have for a whole calendar year within a span of just only one single repair. And that's why you make your FCI to be your partner as often as possible when you're talking about a successful facility management. When run for cover is the best option. When your FCI exceed 0.15 to 0.20, this is telling you extremely deferred maintenance and poor asset condition. So anytime or at any point or any period, when your repair cost is 60% higher when compared to your replacement value, that tells you your facility or your asset is due for an outright replacement. When building systems are obsolete, unsafe, or incompatible with modern use requirements, then if ongoing maintenance demand drain resources without a long-term value, when strategic or financial goal justify demolition, replacement, or relocation over repair. So the only thing you need to do is to go for the best option. So how does backlog or facility condition index cost? What do we even understand by the word backlog? Backlog are deferred maintenance activity. These are maintenance activity you ought to have carried out, which could be part of maybe your routine maintenance, your quarterly maintenance, your weekly maintenance, your daily, which you are not being able to actually perform as a result of one, lack of resources, lack of power, lack of spare parts, lack of finance, availability of third-party contractor, estimated delivery time of your procure parts. These are referred to as backlog, or maybe a planned maintenance that you decided to do alongside with your total turnaround maintenance activity. These are fall under backlog. The farm maintenance accumulate, increasing the numerator in the and increasing the numerator in the FCI formula. When you have accumulated deferred maintenance, it is going to get your numerator to increase. And with this, you might not get a justified FCI if you have a lot of unjustified backlog of maintenance. But when you have maintenance activity being performed as at when due, that means your backlog is going to be lower. And with a lower backlog, this will have little or no impact on the numerator side of your FCI in terms of generating your FCI index. Unaddressed issue grow in scope and cost over time, making repair more expensive. When you needed to perform maintenance on your air conditioner, you didn't do it, and you lost the compressor of the air conditioner. You agree with me that the cost of bringing the air conditioner back to operation will be more far costlier than the cost of performing a routine maintenance on that particular air conditioner. Then, aging, delay in addressing minor repair can lead to major system failure, which is nothing but the truth. Then, aging assets with postponed upgrade wasn't overall facility condition. When you needed to do painting, you say, okay, let's hold on. Let's wait in next year. When you needed to do some masonry work, you say, let's wait in next year. You have some leakage. You didn't attend to it on time. These are what could affect and inflate your FCI score. Inflated FCI score can trigger funding, reallocation, replacement decision, or audit. Because by the time you conduct your FCI, now your FCI is suggesting that you need to do an outright replacement. And not knowing these were as a result of a lot of maintenance activity that ought to have been carried out, which were being delayed as a result of negligence, as a result of not having an effective planning, as a result of maybe you are trying to use a lot of tactical delay. This can impact on your FCI and is going to allow you to make some decision of making an outright replacement when replacement wasn't even the best option. Real world consequence of deferring action. What are the consequences when you deferred a lot of action that you ought to have taken in terms of maintenance activity? It will result in increased repair and replacement costs due to worsening asset condition. When you needed to perform your normal routine maintenance on your generator, you delay it. This could result into a total breakdown of your generator. And the total breakdown will also tend to maybe possibly you need to do what we call asset replacement. You need to do what we call asset replacement or an outright replacement of that particular asset. So that's why the deferred maintenance are not needed. Your maintenance activity are not needed to be what? Delayed beyond the necessary. Unexpected equipment failure disrupt operation and tenant satisfaction. When maintenance are not being carried out as when due, you should at any point in time expect an equipment failure. When you have equipment failure, you lose what we refer to as uptime. When you lose uptime, you lose production. And when you lose production, you are not able to meet up with your deliverables. And this is going to be telling and impacting on your performance. Then, higher health and safety risks, especially in critical infrastructure. For instance, if you happen to be a facility manager in oil and gas environment and to carry out a maintenance activity on a pump, you deferred it, you delay it, and you could not be able to transload your liquefied gas or whatever from one point to the end user. You know how many millions of naira you'll be losing. because these monies are not calculated in naira, they are calculated in dollars. But for instance, you happen to be a facility manager in port authority, and you have your cranes that you use to offload ship when they arrive at the dock, and you have a lot of maintenance activity you have to be carried out on your box. You have a lot of maintenance activity you have to have carried out, either predictive or preventive maintenance. They have to have carried out, and because of this delay, a lot of bearing in the box are being impacted, and you cannot operate your crane. Not operating your crane means you cannot offload your ship. Not offloading your ship means you have to start paying for demurrage, and this demurrage comes in thousands of dollars. And these are part of area where you're losing money. Then higher health and safety risk. I gave an example of another gas environment. You didn't perform your maintenance activity and a fire incident occurred. And this caused the company to lose in millions of naira. For instance, you didn't carry out your maintenance activity and you have oil spillage. Oil spillage is very, very illegal, and your company is being held responsible by the federal government as a result of it. These are areas where your deferred action could be costing you. Reduce asset value and service life, impacting on capital planning. How does this reduce your asset value? For instance, you've already proposed to sell off the asset. The buyer will first of all conduct a condition assessment. And while they are conducting the condition assessment, they discover that a lot of deferred maintenance activities that are not being done. So the value you are going to get on the asset is going to be reduced, lower, because that tells the buyer of that particular asset that asset will need to go up a lot of cost from his end for him to revive the asset back towards to operation. So in lieu of this, he's going to price the asset lower than what it should be, what the asset should worth on a return scenario if the asset is maintained in a quality and standardized manner. Regulatory penalty and insurance issue from non-compliance or negligence, which I just mentioned. I used an example of an oil and gas environment. Negligence, when you don't do the right thing at the right time and you have oil spillage, you are going to pay regulatory penalty, you are going to have issue with insurance, you are going to face non-compliance issue. And this might lead to sanction, this might lead to withdrawing your license, this might lead to non-operating for a period of time. And when you know the company is not operating, it's not only impacting you as a facility manager alone, it's impacting every employee of that company, because when the company is not operating, then it makes the company start thinking about, downsizing. Everybody has to go home. A single mistake or a single negligence from our end as a facility manager. So asset-specific example, what are those assets? Like I mentioned, your roof. This is a system within the facility. Small leak ignored can lead to structural water damage, because the leak, if not addressed on time, and the water is seeping into the building envelope, it will come to a point that the building envelope will get saturated with water. Mold will start growing up, algae will start growing up, and at the end of the day, the building wall will collapse. And the cost you are going to incur is not the cost of erecting another wall again. You are going to incur the cost of erecting another wall, painting work. You're going to do the same leakage. You are going to rectify the same leakage. And don't forget, this might even delay you to use that location for a considerable period of time. If you are a facility manager in a lettable environment, this impact on one of the tenant facilities. Don't forget that the tenant, if it's not operating for like almost about 2 months of that repair period, is going to remove the cost of the rent for that 2-month period from your rent when it's going to pay you back. These are areas where you'll be losing money. HVAC system, poorly maintained units operate inefficiently, consume more of energy, may require early replacement if care is not taken. Then, plumbing, corroded pipes left unchecked risk burst incident, wear damage, and legionnaire growth. For instance, if you happen to be a facility manager in an hotel environment where you do what you call centralized hot water system, that you have a boiler that you use for your hot water system, if maintenance activities are not being performed on that boiler as at when due, you stand the risk of you losing, you stand the chance of having uh, having a scale forming on the heating element of your boiler, the boiler wall being impacted, and these are repaired that might cost you a huge amount of money. Electrical system aging panel and wiring increases fire risk that cannot be support modern load demand. Then the other area where we neglect most of the time in facility is this electrical aspect. Do you often check your load and ensure you have what we refer to as load balancing? Because this, with load balancing, it helps you to eliminate fire. It helps you to eliminate having one line within your power system being overloaded. Then elevator and lift. Deferred upgrade may lead to operational shutdown and expensive emergency repair. So, did you perform the normal routine preventing maintenance on your lift? Did you apply grease and oil onto the bearings as at when due? The third party maintenance company that comes to your facility to handle this, who is supervising them, who is ensuring that they are doing the right thing when they come for their maintenance? These are areas where we need to look into. Life cycle cost analysis and timing strategy. I've explained to us what we mean by life cycle of an asset. Then the life cost analysis help you to compare the long-term cost of repair, replacement, or doing nothing. And yearly intervention often costs less than emergency fixes or full asset replacement. And that's why you see companies are now getting their building completely fully automated so that you get alerted when certain maintenance activity needed to be carried out on a particular facility. So you don't need human sense to kick in before you know you need to perform your maintenance activity on your assets. Optimal timing balances operational need and financial planning and service supply prediction. When you carry out your maintenance activities as at when due, you spend lesser amount of money um, in terms of reactive maintenance or emergencies. Strategic phasing of major repair spread costs over budget cycle while minimizing disruption. So when you strategically do your planning and you strategically implement all those maintenance plans, you have the chance of monitoring it, have the chance of ensuring that you meet up with your budget. Your budget might not and will not be impacted, will not be disrupted, because you try to reduce your reactive maintenance, your reactive repairs, your reactive actions to the bearable minimum. And to the extent that even if at all there's going to be a breakdown, the breakdown is not going to be a cost impacted breakdown. So FCI trend guides timing decision by highlighting asset nearing critical condition. Because with your FCI, you know asset that their conditions are very, very critical. Asset that their conditions are very, very critical, those are the ones that you give priority to. Those are the ones you quickly deploy your manpower and your resources just to ensure that they didn't go to the extent of causing you to lose a huge amount of money. So how do you use your facility condition assessment to rank or prioritize your facility? FCI enables objective comparison across multiple buildings or assets regardless of their size or condition. When you have a lower FCI, this indicates that your facility is in a better condition and you are going to spend little or no amount of money on maintenance activity, and also lower immediate investment needs. Then higher FCI score highlight building with significant deferred maintenance and risk exposure. Prioritization. It helps in terms of prioritization, you know where to allocate your fund, you know where to allocate your manpower, you know where you to locate your resources that is available to you, where intervention will have greatest impact. Support your FCI also support data-driven decision making for capital planning, reinvestment, or repurposing strategy. These are areas where you can use your FCI to rank or to prioritize your action needed to be taken in your facility. So, how do you now integrate your FCI into long-term renewal forecasting? You want to do renewal and you've already forecasted this is how you want to do it. Then how will your FCI be of F? FCI trend reveal future capital need by showing how asset condition evolve over time. So with your FCI, you've already gathered your costs and it tells you what are the costs you've been incurring over a period of time. That is if you are keeping an adequate and correct data at your disposal. And that's the reason why in order to have an accurate and a more dependable data, that's why you see most facilities are going into software-based kind of facility management now because they know with that, please, can we have that speaker muted? That speaker. Supporting multi-year planning by aligning renewal schedule with actual asset deterioration rate. So when you have the way the asset is deteriorating, so it is easier for you to plan, to have a long-term plan, 3 years plan, 5 years plan of what you are going to be doing on a yearly basis before you completely reinvigorate the asset, before you completely renew the asset, before you completely overhaul the entire asset. It enables proactive budgeting by identifying where repair costs will exceed replacement threshold. Combined with facility age and use of data to forecast renewal timing and cost more accurately. You know where you needed to do the repair. Okay, after we have done our facility condition assessment and we have calculated our FCI, we know that this wall painting that we can still hold on the painting till next year. We can do the painting in the next calendar year. Okay, the roof is not leaking. Well, we can change the roof from asbestos to normal corrugated roof to by 2026 or 27. So these are areas where your condition assessment, condition index helps you. It improves strategic assessment management by linking condition metrics to live investment model. So with this, you can able to strategize. You use strategic asset management to know where you can deploy your manpower and what investment model are you actually going to use. Business decisions. Facility condition index. Quantify deferred maintenance as a proportion of replacement cost. That is a snapshot of the condition. Then RUL, that is remaining useful life. Estimate how long the asset can still function before it will eventually fail or before the asset can be disposed of. Then physical condition index for infrastructure, which is PCII, also uses condition scores from visual inspection, which is related to your condition assessment. Quantitative, qualitative are not cost-based. Then FCI is a budget-oriented. because it involves cost. While your RUL, which is remaining useful life, and your physical condition index infrastructure focuses more on technical deterioration and serviceability or maintainability, or you're talking about the current physical condition of the assets. One is focusing on cost, while the other one is focusing on quantitative or quality aspects. Combined use of FCI, RUL, and PCII enable a more holistic asset evaluation for repair or replacement decision. So when you combine the three together, it is easier for you to make a vital business decision on either to repair, replace, or revamp. So in conclusion, FCI is a powerful tool for quantifying facility health and guiding strategic decisions. Understanding FCI helps you to prioritize resources across large facility portfolio effectively. Deferred maintenance directly impacts facility condition, increases operational skills, reduce risk, operational skill, risk, and long-term cost. Context matter, facility type, usage, mission, criticality must shape FCI interpretation. Then, using FCI with life cycle planning ensure smarter investment and sustainable asset performance. So before we call it a day, like I said at the beginning of the class, that we're actually going to leave room for question and answer. So please, if you have any question to ask, kindly signify by raising up your hand. I'm waiting for questions. Please signify by use the raising up icon. I will call on you. You unmute your speaker. You ask your question, and I have Amira Azan. Please go ahead, Amira. Unmute your speaker and go ahead with your question.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you. Or good afternoon. I mean, thank you very much for the lecture. So, missed it because I joined late.
Amira,
So the FCI. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. So the FCI return, is it going to be the cost of that particular repair over the total cost of the equipment times 100, or the cost that you've used to repair it for the whole year over cost? So what's the span of the time frame for the cost of repair? Is it just that single repair?
Okay, let me start with, let me use a pumping machine for an instance. You procure a pumping machine in 2025, and after 6 months, you spent just only, let's say, 10,000 naira. Then 6 months down the line, you have another cost again of 20,000 naira. The reason why you spend the initial 10,000 naira because the cost is still lower, lesser when compared to an actual replacement cost. Now, let's not assume that in another 6 months again, when you want to do this is something you've been spending like 10,000 naira, maybe 5,000 naira, 3,000 naira thereafter to do one or two repair. But this time around, the cost that the mechanist is giving you is almost about 70,000 naira. The guy said, sorry, we need to replace the entire coil. We need to replace the shaft. We need to replace this. And you discover that even, you are not saying that, oh, sorry, this is even almost the cost of even getting the pump replaced. So at times, it's not completely the cost you have been incurring over time. It is the cost that you need to incur that period in time. And most of the time, these costs are born out of, we said something earlier on here. Let me come back to this slide. We mentioned about physical condition index of that facility. Yeah, we talk about the physical condition of that facility. Yeah, we said the physical condition index. So most of the time, your FCI is mostly born out of when you do your physical condition assessment. And that is when you can get a comprehensive data of when you need to make that vital decision. Then in terms of building, or let me use example of your car. You have an automobile you are using. You've been carrying out several numbers of maintenance on that car. And most of the time you go for servicing. On the engine side, let me take the engine side for an instance. There was a time you changed the alternator. There was a time you changed the top cylinder. There was a time you changed. Then along the line, the car is not giving you the 100 performance that you want in terms of speed and every other thing. And you took it for an assessment. And the cost they're giving you is alarming. You're like, what is even the cost? How much is even the cost of a new engine? And you like, okay, sorry, instead of spending this amount of money, which is I cannot even guarantee efficiency, it's better. Let me even close my eyes and buy a new engine, which is more at least reliable, efficient, and it's going to serve me over a period of time. So the best time you can make that decision is when you conduct your condition assessment of that facility. And you look at your trend of how much you have been spending to maintain this facility for a period of time, and you come across that, oh, sorry, this thing has been gulping a huge amount of money. The best for me to do is let me go ahead and do a natural replacement. So most of the time, you can do your cost as per the current condition of that facility because you are comparing the current condition with current replacement value. So most of the time, it is always better with current condition of that particular asset or that facility. So I hope that answer your question, Amira. Hello? Hello?
Yes, I dropped chat. Yes, it did.
Oh, okay,
Thank you.
okay. Another question. We still have some time to attend to question and answer. Okay. In the absence of no question, let me try to call on two people to tell us what are actually their take home from today's class. Can I have Mr. Akinlolu Emmanuel Aluko? Akinlolu Emmanuel Aluko, can you tell us what are your take home from today's lunch hour?
I'm the moderator as well. I'm the moderator.
Okay. Mr. Alex Odewole. Yeah, Mr. Alex Odewole. Can I hear you out, sir?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Mr. Alex.
Yes, thank you for the session. And my take home for today, talking about facility condition index. One, I learned that it's very important for us to always know the condition of our assets, that's the assets within our facilities, as well as ensuring that we do constant maintenance to ensure that we don't have breakdown. And also this maintenance also help us to be able to determine or to also make decisions about these assets, when to dispose, when to continue to put them in use, or when to also do an improvement on our assets. So this is what I learned from this session for today. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alex. Yeah, Mr. Ebolo Thompson. Mr. Thompson, Iboro. Let's hear you out, sir. Mr. Thompson, let's hear you out, please. Okay, Mr. Talas Uchechukwu. Silas Uchechukwu, let's hear from you. What are your take home from today's class? Okay. So in the absence of no any other question, we're calling today's class a day. And thank you very much for attending the Max-Migold launch hour today. And we look forward to seeing more of each other in other launch hours forthcoming. Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, thank you so much, Engineer Akiola.
Thank you very much.
We are so much grateful. Max-Migold, the Facility Management Masterclass program is coming up next August 11. So the batch 25 is open for registration. So we urge each and every one of us who have a loved one to register for the upcoming batch. So we look forward seeing each and every one of us there. And also there is still a 10% early bird discount going on for the batch 25. The link to register is maxmigold.com/FMMC. The link will be dropped on the group right now. So the batch 25 is still open, and we urge each and every one of us who are looking more to gain more knowledge in the FM industry and to take up that course. And for early bird discount, kindly reach out to the number that has been dropped on the group chat. Thank you so much and have a wonderful week. See you again next week.